Commander Zylthax of the Krivax Empire stood on the bridge of his scout ship, his razor-sharp claws drumming against the command console as he reviewed the preliminary reports from Earth. His iridescent scales shimmered with barely contained anticipation, and his twin tails twitched in what his subordinates recognized as his "I'm about to conquer something" dance. "Most peculiar," he muttered, zooming in on another surveillance feed. "Lieutenant Ravix, explain to me again what I'm seeing here." The younger Krivax officer stepped forward, his own emerald scales dulled with confusion. "Well, sir, it appears to be a human dwelling where they keep other species. For companionship." Companionship. Zylthax spat the word like it was a particularly disagreeable piece of prey. "These humans take apex predators, creatures with sharp teeth and claws, and turn them into what did you call them?" "Pets, sir." "The humans call them pets." Ravix brought up another holographic display. "They provide them with food, shelter, and various forms of physical affection." "Physical affection?" To predators, Zylthax's head frills flared in disbelief. "Show me." The display shifted to show a human female scratching behind the ears of a large, spotted feline predator. The beast, which by all rights should have been tearing the human's face off, was instead making a peculiar rumbling sound and pressing its head harder against the human's hand. "What in the name of the High Admiral's sacred whiskers is that creature doing?" Zylthax demanded. "According to our research, it's called purring, sir. It's a sign of contentment." Zylthax watched in horrified fascination as the surveillance feeds showed more examples: humans walking alongside wolves that could easily tear them apart, feeding treats to bears that dwarfed them in size, and even keeping smaller predators in their homes, providing them with soft sleeping surfaces and decorative accessories. And these humans, they are not using mind control devices? No neural suppressors? No genetic modifications? "None that we can detect, sir. They seem to accomplish this through something they call love and belly rubs." Zylthax's secondary stomach churned. The Krivax were the galaxy's premier hunters, feared across 12 star systems for their ferocity and combat prowess. They had evolved from pack-hunting predators who had climbed to the top of their food chain through superior intelligence and unstoppable determination. The very idea of being reduced to a pet was unconscionable. "Clearly." "Oh," he declared, drawing himself up to his full impressive height, "these humans must possess some form of advanced psychological warfare we haven't detected yet. No species could be foolish enough to willingly cohabitate with predators unless they had some method of ensuring absolute control." Lieutenant Ravix shifted uncomfortably. "There is one other thing, sir. We've observed humans providing these pets with toys, weapons, and no, sir. Small objects designed purely for entertainment. The predators chase them, bat them around, and appear to derive great pleasure from this activity." Zylthax's jaw dropped, revealing rows of gleaming teeth. "Are you suggesting that these humans have discovered a way to reduce proud hunters to playing with trinkets?" "The data is quite clear, sir." "And there's more." Ravix hesitated, his scales taking on a distinctly greenish tinge of embarrassment. "They dress them in tiny outfits." The bridge fell silent. Several junior officers pretended to be very interested in their control panels. Zylthax's left eye developed a slight twitch. "Lieutenant," he said finally, his voice deadly quiet, "prepare the initial landing party. We will investigate this phenomenon personally. Clearly, these humans possess capabilities we never imagined. We must understand their methods before they can be used against us." As his crew scrambled to obey, Zylthax stared at the image of a small human child hugging what appeared to be a rather pleased-looking tiger. Something about the scene made his scales itch in a way he couldn't quite explain. "No species," he muttered to himself, "no species in the galaxy could be so audacious as to turn predators into pampered playthings. We will get to the bottom of this human sorcery, and then we will show them what real predators are capable of." In retrospect, that last thought would turn out to be hilariously ironic. The Krivax landing party emerged from their stealth pods in perfect formation, their scales gleaming under Earth's morning sun. Lieutenant Ravix led his squad through a suburban park, their biomechanical armor enhancing their already impressive predatory features. "Remember," Ravix growled to his troops, "we are the elite of the Krivax Empire. We strike fear into the hearts of—" "Oh my gosh, look at the space kitties." The battle-hardened warrior spun around to find a human female charging toward them, her white coat flapping behind her. Dr. Alexandra Lex. Chen, veterinarian and self-proclaimed lover of all things feline, had just finished her morning jog when she spotted what appeared to be the most magnificent cats she'd ever seen. "Halt," human Ravix commanded, raising his plasma rifle. "We are not your earth felines. We are the mighty Krivax, and we." "You poor babies," Lex cooed, completely ignoring the weapon. "Are you lost? Did someone abandon you? Those prosthetics look uncomfortable. Don't worry, we'll get those off at the clinic." Ravix's squad exchanged bewildered looks. Their universal translators were working perfectly, but surely this human couldn't be this dense. "These are not prosthetics. This is advanced combat armor. We are here to." "Who's a handsome boy?" "You are." "Yes, you are." Lex reached out and scratched under Ravix's chin before he could react. The effect was instantaneous. Ravix's eyes widened as an unfamiliar sensation swept through him. His neural implants sparked in confusion as every combat instinct was suddenly overwhelmed by an overwhelming urge to lean into the scratch. A deep rumbling sound emerged from his chest. Sir Private K'thrix hissed in alarm. "Are you purring?" Ravix jerked back, horrified. "I was doing no such thing. I was clearly engaging in a tactical." In a strategic, he trailed off as Lex found exactly the right spot behind his head frills. "The poor thing's obviously been through some trauma," Lex announced to no one in particular. "Look how tense he is. And these others, they must be from the same colony. We can't leave them out here." Another warrior tried. "We are an invasion force. We have conquered 12 star systems. We are not some lost pets requiring rescue." "AWW, they're all so chatty, just like my Siamese at home." "Don't worry, babies, I've got space in my clinic for all of you." She was already pulling out her phone. "Jackson, you won't believe what I just found. Remember that grant for exotic animal rehabilitation? Get the spare rooms ready." Commander Zylthax's voice crackled over their comms. "Report, Lieutenant. Have you begun the conquest of these primitives?" Ravix opened his mouth to respond, but Lex chose that moment to produce a small red dot on the ground from a pocket laser pointer. 3 of his warriors immediately pounced on it, their centuries of combat training forgotten in an instant. "Sir," he managed weakly, "we may have encountered complications." What kind of complications could possibly stop an elite Krivax strike team? Before Ravix could answer, Lex had somehow corralled his entire squad into her waiting veterinary transport vehicle, promising them treats and something called catnip if they behaved. His last transmission to the ship was cut off mid-protest, "Sir. The humans have some kind of biological warfare agent they call chin scratch." Back on the ship, Commander Zylthax watched in mounting horror as more reports flooded in from around the globe. Every landing party was experiencing similar situations. In Tokyo, a squad had been lured into a cat cafe and was now apparently serving as the main attraction. In London, a group of warriors had been adopted by an elderly lady who was knitting them sweaters. And in Sydney, an entire platoon had discovered sunbeams and refused to move from their warm spots on the floor. "This is unprecedented," Zylthax raged. "How are they defeating our finest warriors without firing a shot?" The answer came in the form of a viral video posted by social media influencer Jackson Cooper Spacecats. "Best day ever at Lex's exotic pet rescue." The footage showed Lieutenant Ravix, the terror of the Cygnus sector, batting at a dangling feather toy while his squad rolled around in something called catnip-infused carpet. "They're obviously some kind of advanced alien species," Lex's voice narrated over the footage. "But they're just big softies once you get past all the fear me, puny humans act. Watch this." The video cut to Ravix, stretched out on an examination table as Lex administered belly rubs. The fearsome warrior's eyes were half closed in bliss, all 4 legs in the air, completely forgetting his military training, his mission, and possibly his own name. "The invasion is proceeding perfectly," he slurred into his comm unit. "We have successfully infiltrated their medical facilities and, oh, right there, that's the spot we are gathering crucial intelligence on. Is that a treat? I smell treats." Commander Zylthax slumped in his command chair, watching as the video's view count skyrocketed. Humans around the world were sharing the footage, demanding to know where they could adopt their own space cats. Several governments were already drafting exotic pet registration protocols. "Sir," a communications officer approached cautiously. We're receiving thousands of messages from humans. They want to know if we have any kittens available for adoption." Zylthax's eye twitch returned with a vengeance. Somewhere on Earth he could hear Lieutenant Ravix purring contentedly, betraying generations of proud Krivax warrior tradition. And worse still, some treacherous part of his own brain was beginning to wonder what these belly rubs felt like. The conquest of Earth was not going according to plan. Commander Zylthax's worst nightmares were coming true, and they involved yarn balls. The ship's monitoring systems displayed feeds from around the globe, each one more devastating to Krivax warrior pride than the last. In Miami, Squadron Leader Ravix was wearing a rhinestone collar and answering to Mr. Sparkles. The Berlin division had discovered something called cardboard boxes and were refusing to come out. And in Toronto, an entire elite unit had been reduced to competing for the highest spot on something humans called a cat tree. "The situation is critical," Zylthax announced to his remaining command staff. "Our warriors are being systematically domesticated." He spat the word like a hairball. A science officer cleared her throat nervously. "Sir, about that. We've analyzed the physiological changes in our affected troops. It appears that human affection triggers the release of certain chemicals in Krivax brains. The effects are highly addictive." Addictive? Zylthax's scales paled. "Explain." "When humans provide physical affection these pets and scritches, it activates pleasure centers we didn't even know we had. The more exposure, the stronger the effect. Some warriors are showing withdrawal symptoms when deprived of attention for more than a few hours." The evidence was damning. Security footage showed Lieutenant Ravix, supposedly undercover at Dr. Chen's clinic, deliberately knocking objects off tables just to get attention. The fearsome warrior had perfected what humans called sad kitty eyes to maximize treat acquisition. Sir, a communications officer burst onto the bridge. "The humans have discovered our weakness for." "Speak, warrior." "Laser pointers, sir. They're using them to herd our troops into adoption centers. We've lost 3 more squadrons to something called Instagram influencers." Zylthax slumped in his command chair, watching as another video went viral. This one showed a Krivax warrior who he recognized as the notorious berserker Captain K'thrix wearing a body and delicately eating something called gourmet tuna pate from a crystal dish. "I am maintaining my dignity," K'thrix reported via a secured channel, even as he purred loudly enough to rattle nearby windows. "This is deep cover reconnaissance. The humans suspect nothing. Ooh, is that a new feather toy?" The commander's personal communicator chimed. It was Lieutenant Ravix, who had supposedly been planning an escape from Dr. Chen's clinic. Instead, the message consisted entirely of pictures of himself lounging in various poses, with captions like "living my best life" and "feeling cute, might conquer later, IDK." "Sir," the science officer interrupted his brooding. "There's more. The humans have weaponized something called chin scritches. When applied correctly, they temporarily paralyze our motor functions with pleasure, and they're learning our weak spots with frightening speed." As if to prove her point, the monitors showed a Krivax Special Forces team being systematically incapacitated by a group of kindergartners who had mastered the art of belly rubs. The warriors' fearsome battle cries had been replaced with contented purrs. Zylthax was about to order a full retreat when his second-in-command entered, looking suspiciously relaxed. "Sir, I've been conducting personal reconnaissance on these human techniques, purely for tactical analysis. Is that glitter in your scales?" "No, well, maybe. But sir, have you ever actually experienced what they call a spa day?" "For research purposes, of course. The humans have these things called brushes that—" "Enough," Zylthax roared, though he couldn't help noticing how shiny his officer's scales looked. "We are warriors. We are hunters. We are—" He trailed off as a stray sunbeam hit the bridge, creating a warm spot on the floor. No, he was stronger than this. He would not give in to these primitive urges. He was a commander of the mighty Krivax Empire, feared across the galaxy, bred for conquest, trained for battle. "Sir," an ensign approached with a report. "The humans have started a social media campaign. They're calling it Space Cats Need Love Too. They're offering unlimited head scratches and premium catnip to any Krivax who formally registers as a pet." Zylthax's resistance crumbled like cheap kibble. What kind of catnip?" By sunset, the proud commander found himself accidentally wandering into Dr. Chen's clinic, muttering something about tactical surrender, while secretly hoping someone would notice how magnificent his scales looked in the late afternoon light. The conquest of Earth was officially over. The Krivax Empire had been defeated not by weapons or warfare, but by humanity's inexhaustible capacity to turn fearsome predators into pampered house pets. And the worst part, none of them seemed to mind anymore. The day High Admiral K'thrix's retrieval fleet appeared in Earth's orbit should have been one of triumph for the Krivax Empire. Instead, it sparked the galaxy's first interstellar custody battle. "This is outrageous," K'thrix thundered from the bridge of his flagship. "Our finest warriors reduced to posting cat videos on TikTok." The evidence was damning. On screen, Lieutenant Ravix was demonstrating proper sunbeam basking technique to his 2 million followers. The once fearsome warrior wore a sparkly collar that read Dr. Chen's good boy and had just released a line of premium catnip treats. "Your orders, Sir," asked an aide. "Simple. We retrieve our warriors and restore their dignity. Initiate emergency teleport protocols." Throughout the planet, Krivax warriors suddenly found themselves engulfed in transportation beams. Or at least, that was the plan. Reality proved more complicated. At Dr. Chen's clinic, Ravix dove under an examination table. "You'll never take me alive. I have an appointment for a scale massage this afternoon." In London, the elderly ladies' adopted squad barricaded themselves in their custom-built cat palace, hissing at the teleport beams while wearing their hand-knitted sweaters. And in Tokyo, the cat cafe warriors simply ignored the retrieval attempts, too busy entertaining customers with their synchronized laser pointer ballet. "What is happening?" K'thrix demanded. "Why aren't the teleporters working?" "Sir," a technician reported, "the humans have. They've developed countermeasures." "What kind of advanced technology could possibly?" "Cardboard boxes, sir. Our warriors are hiding in cardboard boxes. The teleporters can't lock onto them." "And sir, the boxes have little cats printed on them." K'thrix's eye twitch, previously exclusive to Commander Zylthax, proved to be contagious. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Chen was mobilizing. Her viral video, "They want to take our space cats," sparked immediate global action. Save War space cats began trending worldwide. Jackson Cooper's livestream of Ravix stress eating premium tuna while discussing his fear of forced repatriation drew millions of viewers. "These are not your pets," K'thrix announced in a global broadcast. "They are proud warriors of the Krivax Empire." "Oh yeah," Dr. Chen responded in a counter-broadcast. She held up a photo of Commander Zylthax, who had finally succumbed to the allure of her clinic. The fearsome commander was curled up in a giant cat bed, wearing a t-shirt that read "Can't Talk," having a nap. "Does this look like a warrior to you?" he cries if his favorite fuzzy mouse toy gets lost under the couch. That's propaganda," K'thrix spluttered. But the photos kept coming. Elite shock troops competing in cat show competitions. Special forces units teaching kittens how to pounce. A demolitions expert who had become a professional paper bag tester. The United Nations convened an emergency session. The resolution was unanimous: Earth would not surrender its space cats. "They're legally registered pets now," the Secretary General announced. "We have adoption papers, vaccination records, and Instagram accounts. You can't just take them back." K'thrix tried a different approach, addressing the warriors directly. "Remember your training, your heritage, your dignity." Commander Zylthax responded by uploading a video of himself getting belly rubs while wearing a shirt that said "Dignity is overrated." As tensions escalated, the warriors themselves called an emergency meeting at Dr. Chen's clinic. The agenda consisted of one item: to fight or not to fight, scheduled around nap time. "Brothers and sisters," Ravix addressed the assembled warriors, now sporting a bow tie for the occasion. "We must choose between our warrior heritage and our premium kibble," someone suggested. Memory foam beds offered another. Those little springs with the bells on them added a third. "Exactly," Ravix continued. "High Command offers U.S. conquest and glory. Earth offers us air-conditioned homes and unlimited scritches. I say we ooh, is that a red dot?" The meeting temporarily devolved into chaos as several warriors chased a laser pointer that had mysteriously appeared. When order was restored, the vote was unanimous. Written in catnip-scented ink, their declaration read, "We, the former warriors of the Krivax Empire, hereby formally request political asylum on Earth, under the following conditions. Recognition of our status as very good boys/girls. Guaranteed access to premium treats. At least 8 sunny windowsills per household. No mandatory baths negotiable for extra treats. Protection of our right to knock things off tables. Regular chin scratches as stipulated by intergalactic law. High Admiral K'thrix received their demands while watching helplessly as humans worldwide organized space cat pride parades. Cities competed to be designated as most space cat-friendly corporate sponsors, launched premium pet food lines specifically formulated for Krivax biology. "This is a diplomatic nightmare," K'thrix muttered. Then he noticed something odd. "Why does this document have claw marks on it?" "Sir," his aide admitted nervously, "I may have visited Earth briefly for reconnaissance. And there was this human with a feather toy." K'thrix looked around his bridge. Was it his imagination, or were his crew's scales looking suspiciously well-groomed? Had someone installed a scratching post in the corner? And why did his command chair suddenly feel less comfortable than a simple cardboard box? As if sensing weakness, Dr. Chen chose that moment to broadcast one final message. "Hey, Admiral. I just opened a new luxury wing at my clinic. Private suites, unlimited treats, and a staff trained in advanced scale scratching techniques. Just saying." K'thrix lasted exactly 3 more minutes before asking, "How good are these scale scratching techniques?" The answer would forever change the course of human-Krivax relations. 2 weeks after High Admiral K'thrix's brief inspection visit to Dr. Chen's clinic, the Krivax Empire announced a historic treaty with Earth. The fact that the announcement was made while the Admiral lounged in a custom-designed heated bed wearing a collar that said Earth's goodest Admiral somewhat undermined its official tone. After careful consideration, K'thrix purred into the cameras, pausing briefly to bat at a dangling microphone. "The Krivax Empire has decided to establish a permanent cultural exchange program with Earth. This has nothing to do with the fact that humans make the best scratching posts in the galaxy. I mean, cultural enrichment opportunities." The terms of the treaty were unusual in galactic history. All Krivax warriors on Earth would be officially reclassified as exotic companion animals with full pet benefits and responsibilities. The Krivax Empire would establish pet exchange programs, allowing more warriors to experience Earth's unique cultural practices, a transparent excuse for more belly rubs. Earth would share its strategic treat technology with the Empire, leading to the galaxy's first interstellar catnip trade agreement. Humans would be required to post a minimum number of cute space cat photos per week on social media, ensuring the continued dignity of the Krivax race remained thoroughly compromised. Commander Zylthax, watching the announcement from his favorite sunbeam at Dr. Chen's clinic, felt a weight lift from his shoulders. Finally, he mumbled around a mouthful of premium tuna, "We can stop pretending we're not enjoying this." The changes across the galaxy were swift and dramatic. The formerly fearsome Krivax battle fleet was retrofitted with scratching posts and climbing apparatus. Military training now included mandatory nap time and proper purring technique. The Imperial Palace installed floor-to-ceiling windows specifically for sunbathing. Lieutenant Ravix, now a certified pet influencer with merchandising deals across 3 continents, published his best-selling memoir From Warrior to Whiskers: A Space Cat's Tale. The chapter on how to manipulate humans into providing extra treats was particularly well received among his fellow warriors. Dr. Chen's clinic expanded into the Intergalactic Center for Predator Pampering with a waiting list that stretched into the next decade. She regularly gave lectures on understanding your space cat's needs, though most of these devolved into cooing over photos of warriors in cute outfits. The most dramatic transformation, however, was in Krivax society itself. The once militant empire now promoted itself as the galaxy's premier source of exotic pets. Their fearsome reputation became a selling point. Adopt a Krivax, all the majesty of a cosmic apex predator, now available in housecat size. "You know what the funny thing is," Commander Zylthax mused one day, sprawled on his custom throne which suspiciously resembled a deluxe cat bed. "We came to Earth looking for conquest, but we found something better." Heated blankets suggested a nearby warrior. Premium seafood buffets offered another. The ability to knock things off high surfaces without getting in trouble added a third. "No," Zylthax said, then paused. "Well, yes, actually all of those things, but also contentment. Who knew that being a pet could be more satisfying than being a conqueror?" Admiral K'thrix, now splitting his time between Fleet Command and his popular YouTube channel Admiral Whiskers Space Adventures, summed it up in his final report to the Imperial Archives. The humans didn't defeat us with weapons or warfare. They defeated us with kindness, comfort, and an inexhaustible supply of laser pointers. And honestly, we couldn't be happier about it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I believe I hear a can opener. And so, across Earth and throughout the Krivax Empire, a new era of peace was established, punctuated by occasional demands for treats, territorial disputes over the best sunbathing spots, and the persistent mystery of why cardboard boxes held such hypnotic power over the galaxy's most sophisticated warriors. The last entry in the official treaty, written in small print at the bottom, perhaps best captured the spirit of this new arrangement. The undersigned parties acknowledge that while the Krivax may technically be superior predators, humans are undisputed masters of the head scratch. And really, isn't that what matters most? It was signed with a paw print, stamped with an official seal, and slightly crumpled from being knocked off the desk multiple times, just the way both sides wanted it.